Hello everyone, welcome back my channel. In this video I will explain about Avatar, The Way of Water. Let's get started. More than 10 years after the occasions of the primary film, the film starts with Jake Contaminate portraying his unassuming and serene life as head of the Amaticaya faction and raising a family with his significant other Neytiri, which incorporates his children Neteyam and Laak and his little girl Tuk, his embraced girl Kiri, brought into the world from Elegance Augustine's sluggish Navi symbol, and a human kid named Bug, the child of Miles Quaritch, who was brought into the world on Pandora, yet couldn't be shipped to Earth in cryostasis as a baby. While Jake can acknowledge Insect as a took-on child, Neytiri is wary of him given his human beginnings. In any case, every one of the youngsters blend and mingle well with one another, including Bug, whom Kiri is warm with despite the fact that he is a human. Bug doesn't embrace his human legacy and feels more lean to Navi culture and customs. They carry on with an ordinary existence until one day they notice a bizarre star in the night sky. Unfortunately, they understand it's of RDA space transport, with people getting back to Pandora to colonize it, raising another vitally working base once more, making critical obliteration Pandora. Among the fresh debuts in the boat is Colonel Quaritch, who has been cloned into a Navi body and with his recollections transferred from before his demise. Accordingly, Quaritch can't recall his downfall because of Jake, however is simply ready to remember the occasions previously and his vindictive mission to take out Jake. To keep the RDA from taking advantage of Pandora once more, Jake drives an essential guerrilla activity against the RDA supply lines, debilitating them. In one of the tasks, Laak, who resists Neteyam and is anxious to show what him can do as a Navi fighter, attempts to help Jake in fight, however is injured. Jake saves and teaches him to not imperil his own security by being crazy. That evening, while at the same time keeping an eye on his injuries, Neytiri smoothly reminds Jake to be not excessively severe with Laak, to which Jake communicates his anxiety as a dad for the well-being of his youngsters. In the interim, the retaliatory strike on the RDA supply lines doesn't agree with Quaritch, who starts a hunt mission to kill Jake. During an energetic endeavor, Jake's kids alongside Bug investigate further into the rainforest. Unbeknownst to them, Quaritch and his group are in the area investigating the site where Quaritch finds his human remaining parts. A perceptive Laak sees their presence and rapidly illuminates Jake. A conflict follows, and Quaritch's crew catches Jake's youngsters. Jake and Neytiri show up in time and free the vast majority of them, yet Bug is taken by Quaritch, who remembers him as his child. On board the boat, the RDA attempts to pressure data about Jake from Insect, whom declines. Evolving methodology, Quaritch tends to Bug as his child and furthermore to make sense of more about the Navi in return for his opportunity on his side. Despite the fact that unhelpful and ignorant about Quaritch's genuine mission, Insect shows Quaritch Navi culture. Quaritch is additionally effectively ready to tame an Ikran flying animal, as his vehicle realizing the peril Bug's information on his whereabouts stances to their security, and furthermore to keep away from another fiasco, Jake persuades a hesitant Neytiri and his family to expel themselves from the Amaticaya faction and retreat toward the eastern seaboard of Metcaina, a coral reef island whose tribe and way of life is adjusted to Pandora's oceanic living space. Jake gives his central mantle to his replacement and passes on altogether to Metcaina. Once showed up, they are welcomed by the faction boss on Aowari and his better half Ronal, who is dicey of them at first. In any case, Jake makes sense of their circumstance and they are consented to remain and given cover. Despite the fact that a few tribesmen scorn Jake and his kids for their hereditary human legacy, the family learns the methods of the reef individuals, gaining the appreciation of them. Kiri is captivated with the oceanic existence of Metcaina and fosters an otherworldly bond with the ocean and its animals, while Laak gets to know Soraya, the little girl of family boss on Aowari, and his better half Ronal. While adjusting to their new climate, Laak gets into a battle with Soraya's sibling Anning when he pokes an unrefined fun at Kiri and him of their blended human genealogy. Jake rebukes his child for his way of behaving. At Jake's demand, Laak gets back to apologize to Anning and his companions. Nonetheless, they captivate him to an outing into the domain of a perilous ocean hunter, the Aquila, and leave him abandoned in vengeance. The Aquila attempts to go after Laak. Be that as it may, Laak is saved by and gets to know Payakan, a Tulkan, a shrewd and pacifistic cetacean species whom the Metcaina think about their profound family. Laak can speak with Payakan through marking and eliminates an old spearhead from the monster's right blade. Upon his revisitation of Metcaina, boss on Aowari, who became mindful of Anning's deceiving of Laak, requests that the previous apologize to Laak. Notwithstanding, Laak assumes the fault himself, winning Anning's companionship. He is additionally informed that Payakan is an outsider among his species. In the interim, out traveling to a branch off of the Tree of Spirits, Kiri joins with it to meet her mom, yet experiences a rough seizure. She is recuperated by Ronal, however when Jake calls Norm Spellman and Max Patel for help, Quaritch can follow them to the archipelago where the reef individuals reside. Carrying Insect with him, he seized a whaling vessel which is hunting Tulkans to collect their cerebrum proteins for making hostile to maturing cures. Quaritch starts to fiercely scrutinize the native clans about Jake's area, bombing that. He arranges the whaling team to wantonly kill the Tulkans to draw Jake out. Loak intellectually connects with Payakan and discovers that the Tulkan was projected out in light of the fact that he conflicted with the methods of his species and went after the whalers who killed his mom. At the point when the Metkaina learn of the Tulkan butchers, Loak takes off to caution Payakan, trailed by his kin, Soraya and Anning. They find Payakan being pursued by the whalers and Loak, Kiri and Tuk are caught by Quaritch. With their youngsters at serious risk, Jake, Neytiri and the Metkaina set off on a mission to stand up to the people. Quaritch powers Jake to give up, yet seeing his spirit sibling jeopardized, Payakan assaults the whalers, setting off a battle which kills the majority of the group and fundamentally harms the vessel, making it sink. Netayam salvages Loak and Bug, however is lethally shot. Jake faces Quaritch, who involves Kiri as a prisoner. At the point when Neytiri does likewise with Bug, Quaritch at first denies his child, yet halts when Neytiri cuts Insect on the chest. Jake, Quaritch, Neytiri and Tuk end up caught inside the sinking vessel. Jake chokes Quaritch into obviousness and is protected by Loak and Payakan, and Kiri calls ocean animals to help her save Neytiri and Tuk. Bug finds and safeguards Quaritch, yet passes on him because of his mercilessness towards the Na'vi and putting his objective to kill Jake's family over being his dad and turning into a decent man, driving him back to rejoin Jake's loved ones. After Netayam's memorial service, Jake and his family choose to forever remain with the Metkaina.